Sasha seemed a bit out of sorts tonight, especially early in the first half, and also missed a few conversions. Is that a bit of a frustration for you at this stage, heading into the Rugby Championship?
Well, Sasha is not necessarily the first or step. So, we've got Mani that is pretty much good in song, and like you saw when Andre came on, he's also pretty solid with that, So, I think if you just look at Sasha's goal kicking, the first 4 he missed, and then I think after that he did pretty well. He in the warm-up got a e-pointer, and we weren't quite sure if we must push him through into the game, but he wanted to play, and I don't know if that's an excuse for the way he kicked that balls, but he definitely ran it out. And no, we like flyers that tries things on the field, not just to play in the little box and be just all safe. And he was certainly not one of the guys that made most errors today. There was lots of guys that made lots of errors because of the disruptive way. When I say that, I don't say that negative about Georgia. They're just really in your face and thrive on spoiling, and they do it really well. So no, I'm not frustrated with Sasha. It's only his second start for us this year. So he's again he's young compared to our other players.
Yeah, obviously first game back after being out for a while, very physical game, and I think you played the whole game after that when you went off for your HIA. You also got quite heavy hits in that second half there in the one tackle. How are you feeling after that, and feeling very confident?
Yeah, the body is good. Obviously, performance-wise, could have done better. Could have had a better start in the game, but as Coach said, the later the game went, the more we started getting the intensity in there. I thought, we could have started with more intensity, and they came in exactly what the coaches told us they would do and what we saw, and they were hard on that. But later in the game, we were able to put some phases together. We could have started better.
Sorry, Justin,
So just for you as well, just again, once again being on the field and in the squad, and just in terms of performances, what were your overall impressions just on the intensity of the players and going into the Rugby Championship?
I mean, if you look at the 4 weeks, I think each week was different. I told last week the guys' intensity was very high, and today we didn't pick up when they left off, only later in the second half, and that's what shows you about the group. Everyone that's getting an opportunity, you gotta take it. And we definitely had to be better in the second half than we did, but we're just gonna keep on building as a group. And as Coach says, when we're happy that guys are getting opportunities and obviously getting this kind of exposure. Most importantly, we just gotta start with what we know we're about.
What was your overall?
In these 4 games that you played, including the variance game, you've had an opportunity to not only try new faces but also new combinations as well. We're now going to a Rugby Championship, which people may argue is a little bit more serious stuff. Does the Rugby Championship still give you scope to keep rotation and new faces, or now do you have to have a settled team to go through that competition and try to defend?
We're around 36 guys for 2 Australian matches. And within that 36, there will be 1 or 2 guys we experiment with, but the bulk of the squad will take out the guys that we thought are the most settled and fits the best into how we want to play. The nice thing is now, I think, 48 guys, so how many guys has played for us now this year, including last year, there's also a couple of guys that played for us. So we know all personalities now, all the guys now are training, what is the intensity of training, what do you expect of them on and off the field. So, some guys won't make the 35, 36, we'll probably go 36 for this first 2 games against Australia. Some other guys will just go and play current stuff to make sure they stay fit and get back into the league. See guys like Jalen, Jordan, Ian, Renzo. There's quite a couple that we would have loved to give more game time. But these 4 matches we always score, so we're going to experiment a little bit. So eventually getting the score lines that we did, we're fairly satisfied with. But as you rightly said, the Rugby Championship is definitely a step up to Tier 2 nations, the Barbarian game and the Italy matches. So we'll be going full on to try and win those first 2 Australian matches with a 36-man squad, which we'll announce on Tuesday. But by that, it doesn't mean the guys who's not in the 36, there will be 9 guys on standby for if there's an injury. And then after that, we'll announce the squad for New Zealand, and then them will overflow. There will be guys that is in most of the squads, or in all three squads, including the Argentina 2 matches at the end. So, yeah, hope that answers your question.
Last question before we.
An assessment of this match for you?
Well, the final score, 55, 10 or 17. So I guess really happy if you look over the 4 games. You know, each game we were close to 50 and we kept, except for Italy in the first match. So overall, yeah, it's when you play a team like this that's really physical. I would say they don't really want to play rugby, but they are really disruptive. But that's not an excuse for us making so many errors, you know. So I guess we have to take some blame. Understand that if we chop and challenging teams like that, we'll be building squad depth, but you'll lose rhythm. And I'm glad the guys could the last 25 minutes get some rhythm into the game. So yeah, I think we're fairly happy. You know, one can always do better. But it was definitely a team that came out. It was very stop-start. It was before every scrum, every line-up, there was somebody sitting on the ground. It was really tough to get some intensity into the game. But I think what we expected from them was physicality and being disruptive, and they certainly did that. But at the end, the guys handled it. But I don't think it was a performance of 80 minutes where we handled it.
Ross?
Rassie, I thought your rookie front row did pretty well in the first half, pretty solid performance from them. Were you happy with their efforts, and do you feel that maybe you could have left them on a bit longer, you know, especially when the experienced guys struggled a bit in the scrum in the second half?
Yeah, I think they did fairly well. You know, it's interesting, you know, to put guys in a game like that. In the first game, you know, you look at the scrums and you think it's quite okay, but then there's some general play errors, you know, how you stop a ball. You pretty much in sync with guys that's played a lot fast, and then if one or two of those guys miss their roles and stopping a ball, there's a maul try against us. I know Sia was also off of that maul try, I think. So there was one or two. So maul is also as technical as a scrum sometimes. So yeah, and in general defense, they made some errors. So one can't look in isolation just the scrums. You're 100% right, they did well in the scrums. But they had some errors in attack, being on the right places and clean outs and ball carries and so on. So giving them 45, 46 minutes, you know, we've seen enough, and that was the scrum that is solid enough, and we can fix the general play stuff with it.